Dear friends, welcome back to another episode of The Informant. Today we're delving into explosive allegations of a potential Iranian plot to assassinate Donald Trump, the newly re-elected President of the United States. Could this be a prelude to war? But before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. This past Friday, November 8th, the U.S. Department of Justice revealed a staggering charge. An alleged assassination plot masterminded by Farhad Shakeri, an Afghan national now residing in Tehran. Shakeri is said to have received his orders directly from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. His mission? To orchestrate an assassination attempt on Trump, a plot supposedly fueled by escalating tensions between Washington and Tehran since the U.S. drone strike in 2020 that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Shakeri, who migrated to the U.S. as a child but was deported in 2008 after a robbery conviction, reportedly leveraged old prison connections to recruit allies in this conspiracy. The plan, as detailed in court filings, was allegedly devised in September 2024 when an Iranian official approached Shakeri in Tehran, demanding that he develop an assassination plot within a mere 7 days. The court documents reveal that the operation was scheduled to take place before the presidential elections. However, if delays arose, the attack would proceed post-election, with contingency plans to wait out the outcome should Trump lose to Kamala Harris. Investigations further disclosed that Shakeri and his associates, including 2 Americans he had known from his prison days, were also tracking other high-profile targets. Among them was Masih Alinejad, a prominent Iranian journalist and regime critic who has long been targeted by Tehran's intelligence agencies. In a strong statement, the Justice Department highlighted the threat posed by Iran, with Attorney General Merrick Garland asserting that few actors pose as significant a threat to U.S. national security. The FBI, along with other national security agencies, moved swiftly to dismantle the plot, leading to the arrests of suspects on U.S. soil. The indictment also exposed Iran's ongoing efforts to project its influence beyond its borders, targeting regime adversaries not only in the U.S., but also in strategically sensitive regions like Israel and Europe. Iran's response to the accusations was swift, with Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Bagha condemning the allegations as repulsive and attributing them to a fabrication orchestrated by Israel and anti-Iran opposition groups. In multiple statements to the press and social media, Tehran dismissed the allegations, claiming they serve only to justify further U.S. aggression. This response is emblematic of Iran's foreign policy approach, characterized by confrontational rhetoric and denial of any involvement in terrorism or covert operations. The long-standing tensions with the U.S., from the 1979 Islamic Revolution to the American withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear deal, only fuel this mutual suspicion, feeding into cycles of conspiracy theories and disinformation. To fully grasp the gravity of today's situation, one must revisit the 2020 killing of General Qasem Soleimani, a key figure in Iran's military and intelligence apparatus. His assassination in Baghdad, via a U.S. drone strike ordered by Trump, was a defining moment, marking a dramatic escalation in U.S.-Iran relations. Tehran's furious reaction to Soleimani's death, vowing retribution, has since shaped Iran's security strategy towards the U.S. The alleged plot against Trump may be viewed as a continuation of this commitment to avenge Soleimani, underscoring Iran's determination to settle scores with those it deems responsible. The term casus belli, meaning justification for war, has been used throughout history to rationalize military action. An attack on a national leader, whether incumbent or newly elected, could certainly be seen as an assault on the sovereignty and security of a nation. In the case of the United States, such an act would not only provoke outrage but might also be perceived as a direct challenge to its global supremacy. Political and military analysts warn that if solid evidence of Iranian state involvement emerges, the U.S. might respond with a spectrum of actions, potentially even direct military intervention against Iran. History reminds us that assassinations of national leaders can ignite wars, such as the 1914 assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which led to the outbreak of World War I. A U.S.-Iran conflict would have far-reaching implications. The Middle East, with its intricate web of alliances and ethnic tensions, could spiral into heightened violence. With Iran's strategic ties to groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and militias in Iraq and Syria, any retaliation could trigger attacks on American and Israeli interests, setting off a chain reaction with unforeseen consequences. The international community, including U.S. allies in NATO and major powers like China and Russia, would be closely monitoring developments, recalibrating their own positions and containment strategies. A full-scale conflict could realign alliances and disrupt the balance of power in key regions, affecting everything from oil markets to global security. While the specter of direct confrontation is troubling, diplomatic channels remain critical in preventing a crisis. Historically, the U.S. has balanced maximum pressure with tactical diplomacy when dealing with Iran. The current administration faces a tough choice: to maintain a hard stance or explore negotiations to diffuse tensions. The relationship between Washington and Tehran is fraught with contradictions. Brief windows of détente, like the 2015 nuclear deal, stand in stark contrast to the tensions that followed Trump's 2018 withdrawal and subsequent confrontations. Any decision to retaliate militarily must account for the potential fallout among European allies and the broader impact on trade and global security. The alleged plot against Donald Trump transcends the threat to his life. It encapsulates how deeply entrenched U.S.-Iranian animosities could reach a boiling point, with potentially catastrophic results. If proven, such a plot could reshape American foreign policy and spark serious questions about how best to confront authoritarian regimes using asymmetrical warfare tactics. If you value independent journalism and want to support our work, consider buying us a coffee using the QR code on your screen. Your contributions are vital to help us keep delivering in-depth analysis and high-quality insights. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to subscribe to The Informant for the latest news on the world's most urgent geopolitical issues.